So this is our past life. And our past life are the experiences that have conditioned us and conditioned how we use our intelligence.
The deity?
Just the Shashtri in general shows how we were conditioned in our last life. And so it's showing in some ways how we apply our intelligence, in what way we are applying it. For example, the first Shashtri is Gora. Gora means awful. So when a person gets put in a interesting spot, they can get very awful with how they're applying their intelligence. The next one is Rakshasa. It's demonic. So again, we can see. The third one is Deva, divine. So it's a very happy, joyful expression. Where the other person, it's demonic. It doesn't mean they go off and they're a demon, but it can mean they get pretty crazy if they need to. The malefic ones will come out more once the person gets pushed a little bit. Okay, so we haven't hit anybody's yet, right? Did somebody write down what mine were? It's Chandramukhi and... I'll pull it out.
You said Kumar was your Lagna, and Vanesh was
Kanara.
And Chandramukhi was your Vanesh.
Okay. So then we have, and we also look at the ninth lord. Ninth lord is one of the most important things we look at. Because it shows our dharma. How dharmic, it shows how dharmic we are. Mm-hmm. There's, Guruji in his Varga Chakra book points out a yoga that talks about if there's malefics in the ninth, it makes the person, the actual dictum is it makes them sinful. And we all went over this a few times ago when we were looking at the Karkamsha and also when we were looking at Argala. Malefics in the ninth, remember? Both, the rule repeated itself there. Again, malefics in the ninth make a person sinful.
In the Shastri.
No, this is just regular. And it says, and especially so if they have a malefic Shashtri of the ninth lord. Okay. So for our final say, we see these malefics in the ninth house. How disrespectful is a person going to be? We take that ninth lord and we look at the ninth lord in the Shashtri. It gives us the final say on how bad or good. Because they're malefic planets there. Malefic planets can sometimes give good results, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right.
Does it depend on the aspects?
It depends on the aspects. It also depends on the Shashtri lords.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what they were doing with that planet in the last life. Mm-hmm. So we look at the ninth lord as well. Let's just go through them in order, and as we hit one of your individual ones, we'll try and interpret a little bit. And with the Lagna, we know that the Lagna changes pretty fast. So by looking at the Lord, we can see, do we fit that one, or am I the one more before it or the one after it? One of the ways. One of the multiple ways to rectify. Sometimes this can be quick if it's on one that is very contrasting. Sometimes if it's in one that they're too similar, then we need more. So our next one after Deva. And now the thing is, all these are interpreted as karma. So when we have the Rakshasa, which is the second one, and the Deva, which is the third one, it's the person's actions. Rakshasa actions. The person does demonic acts. Meaning, if you make them mad, they'll break your window. Where somebody who has a divine, you make them mad, and they'll send you a letter that explains why you made them mad. The different ways of responding to the kind of actions. So in this way, these deities affect our actions, how we act, because as you were saying about samskaras and karma, this is showing how we've been conditioned by the past. And how we're conditioned by the past is showing how these individual planets and we as ourselves are going to be responding and acting in this life. So then we have Kubera. Kubera is the Lord of Wealth. The Lord of Wealth. How do you think somebody who has a Lugna degree in the Lord of Wealth's Amsha is going to act?
They act like a benefactor, probably.
Benefactor. They'll be rich. They'll expect things to be really great. They'll act like a rich person. They'll just have a certain quality about them.
Won't
In this
necessarily
way.
mean they'll be rich. Right?
Does not mean they'll be rich at all.
This means they came maybe from wealth, so they carry over.
In a past life, they were most likely a rich person.
Mhm.
And they were born because of our attachments. And so they have some attachment to having been a rich person in this life. And so we see in certain actions that they're acting like a rich person. Maybe they're wanting to be a rich person. There's this Kubera, this action is showing this past where they had lots of money.
I have Venus and Kubera. But
Uh-huh.
I always want to have nice things.
Yeah. And Venus is the lords of what houses?
Third and eighth.
Third and eighth. So, you have siblings or no?
Yes.
Siblings. And are any of them like rich things?
Like which ones?
You see, most like as the third lord, it's showing that this. Do you have more than one sibling or just one?
I have 10.
10.
Abundance of siblings.
A wealth of siblings.
Oh my! If you had one, I'd say that one was most likely a millionaire in a past life and is carrying this. But
So it's not her; it's her siblings.
well, because it's
the
the third lord. Yeah.
third lord.
So
In the
House lords are very important.
Is it the third in the D60 or the third?
The third lord in the Rashi.
Oh,
There's 4 ways to read the D60.
Oh, you want to show that?
No.
Always.
You throw out a tidbit and they're like, ah!
We can go back to that if we go through there's 60 lords here.
Yeah.
There's 60 lords. Yeah. Let's go into the lords, and if we.
Make a note here and remind him.
This is one of the looking at the various house lords, what Amsha lord. That's the first technique that Guruji generally teaches with the D60. And if we look, the Lugna lord changes the fastest. So and it's giving us a what is it? Every 2 minutes it's changing. Yeah. So we want our time to be somewhat down to a few minutes in order to be able to rectify the Shashtyamsha into a 2-minute area. Wow, 10 Kubera. That's one to pay attention to, huh? I want to see if that replicates. So the next one, yak. Come on, read the Sanskrit there.
That's my Rahu, my ninth one.
Yaksha.
Yaksha.
Yaksha, you see it? Yaksha.
That's
Yaksha.
that special letter.
Yeah,
Sha.
exactly. It's a conjunct letter. Anybody know Yaksha?
No, it doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's very good.
As long as you're not worshipping them. There's certain combinations for people that worship yakshas.
Really?
It says divine singer? No. Yaksha.
It says divine singer, I think, but that's not.
Yeah, I guess you don't like that meaning.
They're like elves.
No. Yes.
They're kind
They're
of fertility goddesses.
yeah. They're. I'd correlate them to spiritual creatures. I'd correlate them to elves. Because elves are generally associated with tree spirits.
That's the robotic.
Are they feminine? They're feminine?
Is Yaksha. So your ninth lord is Yaksha.
Yakshi is
Yeah, she
feminine.
is a feminine.
Yakshi is the female.
There's some beautiful sculptures of yakshas. Very voluptuous.
Yeah.
Holding up vines and.
They're nature spirits in general. Yeah. And so that being your ninth lord is nature spirits, is showing that in a past your dharma had to do with working with nature spirits. And you're doing medicine in this life, working with herbs and that kind of stuff. So there's this nature spirit dharma. It's affecting your dharma by, in the past, your dharma was working with these nature spirits. And in this life, you're working with herbs and healing and all this coming from these nature spirits that you had worked with.
They're like Finhorn.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It'd be interesting to see if they have this.
You see, in the Puranas, they just give us these nature spirits, these magical creatures, and there's about 100 different terms that they'll translate as magical creature. So we have 100 different words for all these different types of magical creatures. So to kind of get the right magical creature, it is possible. And to me, I feel that they're most like elves. They're elvish creatures. Yeah. Nature spirits. Nature's helpers. They're out. When you get lost in the woods, they're the ones that are going to come along and tempt you and lead you here and there. And
so Kubera is Santa and Yakshas are his elves.
well, this is Kubera. The thing is, you have Lakshmi and you have Kubera. Lakshmi is money. Kubera is the Lord of wealth. They say that Vishnu, when he wanted to get married to Lakshmi, had to go and get a loan from Kubera. And he's still paying it back. Kubera, Lakshmi shows you're wealthy, you're taken care of. Kubera shows you're filthy rich. Kubera's excesses of money, huge houses. The people that have 5 Rolls Royces, that's Kubera level of wealth. Lakshmi is you have a nice car. So the difference there with Kubera. So our next one is Kanara. Now Kanara, I don't know where he gets that translation from in Sharma's book.
Is this your Lagna?
Is this my Lagna?
Yeah.
This is my Lagna Lord. As your Lagna Lord, right?
No, it's my...
As your Lagnesh.
Mars, one of my Lagna Lord. Oh, is that what you just asked me, Lagna Lord? It's the Lagna Lord.
Yeah, okay. Let's look at Lagna and Ninth Lord right now. And you said it's your Lagna Lord? Not your Lagna.
Not my Lagna.
Okay. For me, it's my Lagna. And a Kanara is generally half bird, half man.
Bug?
Half bird, half man. Huh?
You hear that?
Yeah. What's that mean? Half bird, half man. We have one famous half bird, half man. Who's the famous half bird, half man?
Garuda.
Garuda's the famous.
Garuda's half man?
Yeah. He's a Kanara. It's like Ganesh. It's these creatures. So Ganesh is he's an eagle being. What's that? Kanara.
I don't know the story. Can I ask that?
Yeah, half man. What's your first thought? What would be the interpretation?
Oh, you can fly.
Who
One of
rules
these
birds?
Superman.
Who's the Karaka for birds?
Sun.
Sun. Okay. So, and what is the signification when we have half bird, half man? Or half bird, half animal, half human
You're a
forms?
demigod. You're a half god.
More than that.
You want to move upwards towards the sun.
Half bird, half man. Half bird, I keep saying. Half animal, half human forms show forms of Vidya.
Oh.
If you look, the Vedas, the Rig Veda is Gomukhi. It's a cow head, human body. We have
It's a form of Vidya?
Vidya, knowledge. Yeah. If we look at, you have the goat head. For the Atharva Veda, you have the monkey head. which some people say Hanuman, but it's a Vanara Mukhi, the head of a monkey, body of a human, which is worshipped to get the Atharvic Vedic knowledge and also Ayurveda. Yeah. So in this way, knowledge is, and Ganesh is the knowledge of liberation, the knowledge of removing obstacles. The head of an elephant, the body of a human. If you look at the Egyptians, at some point there was a lot of commercial trade between Egypt and India. A large amount. I've been doing more and more research, and it just blows my mind, because I used to argue with some people about this and that and that. And when I see how much trade that they've archaeologically proven between the two, to really say where something came from, they were going back and forth with ideas 10,000 years ago.
And they had a lot of bird people, humans with bird heads.
They had lots of humans with all kinds of heads.
Yeah, right, dogs.
Even the Lord of Death had a jackal's head,
Right.
Yama. So understanding death, the knowledge of death was a jackal-headed thing. So a Kinara, it's what I'm getting to is it's the part bird, part human. So it's showing a certain type of knowledge, a certain understanding. And the sun, because it's a bird, we have the Karaka sun, and sun represents what kind of knowledge? Jyotish, spirituality, spiritual learning, spiritual knowledge, Jyotish learning, Jyotish knowledge. But it's a learning, spiritual kind of sign. Kinara. You think that's my lagna?
Yeah, I think it fits.
The sun is...
You think it fits better than Yaksha? In this way, we look at the
Is the sun the main karaka for Jyotish? Or
Sun and Jupiter.
Mercury? Not Mercury?
No, not really.
Sun and Jupiter?
Yeah. Mercury and Moon are working more with Ayurveda. And Mercury alone is working more with asana and yoga and that realm. So our next one is called Brashta. And famous person who had Brashta was Hitler.
What is Shastri Lagna?
Something in a Shashtyamsha, I can't remember exactly. I just always associate that one with Hitler because it's a prominent one in his chart. And Brashta, it means corrupted. It means principles fallen. The principle, in general, if you have a loaf of bread and it starts to get mold on it, most of the time you don't cut the mold off and keep eating the bread because it means most of the bread is gone. So that's brashta. The bread, if you see a little bit of mold on it, the bread has gone brashta. It's gone, it's no good anymore. Because you see a little bit, it's a sign that it's all gone wrong. And if you remember Hitler with that one, which there'll be people that you meet that aren't Hitlers. But in this way, it's considered a more malefic Shashtyamsha.
Was it his love or his love?
I can't remember exactly.
But we can't say we saw that in a person's chart. It's like in their past life, they probably some type of bad person, and in this life.
In their past life, they, some principles. If it's the Lugna Lord, then they didn't follow certain principles, and in this life they have their morals or their dharmic morals are a little bit less, and they can be corrupting to other people. You know how sometimes you are who you hang out with, and if you don't hang out with the bad people, you're okay. Those bad people that corrupt you, that's brashta. So there are people who you're trying to stop smoking, and then they're like, it's not here, light up, and they talk the person into having a cigarette anyway. It can be that level. It doesn't have to be a Hitler level. It's just somebody who's not supporting the better side. they're supporting the other sides. Yeah.
Or remedial, like if one of us had one, would you recommend it?
There's no remedials for these. This is past life.
Okay.
This is you already did this.
So knowing that,
This is just showing a little bit more of the tendency that a person is going to.
one of us had one of this
Uh-huh.
one,
Yeah.
we would, just by having the knowledge,
Yeah, try and follow the rules a little bit, but try and be more dharmic and strengthen the sun a little bit more, strengthen the ninth lord a little bit, and
okay.
try and, change the karma a little bit. Yeah. In this way. Yeah. And all these can be good in some ways and bad, and all of them can be bad in some ways.
The kid, you wouldn't want your kid to name
Yeah. So the next one is kulagna, one who ruins the family.
Right, that's me. That's me. It works. It fits. My Shastri is right.
And
that
so,
was the past life, so
well, the thing is, it's from a past life. We either did it or had it done to us
Right.
in a past life. And so we're carrying some of that karma with us. So we can follow it or we can try and work with it, but the thing is, what we do in the past, it's kind of influencing what's happening now. And you want to tell us how it's affecting you?
Right, so I can get involved with men, married men, who end up leaving your lives. So I want it, and I don't ask for it. I want that on take two. But yes, so it's absolutely true.
So the next one is Agni or Wani. Wani is just another name for Agni.
This is number 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 10th Shashtri. And Agni is fire. It's energy, it's motivation, hard work. It's bright, spiritual. Somebody has Vani here. Is it me?
No, you don't keep that in general.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is Maya, illusion. Any guesses on how this one shows up?
Is the person not based in reality?
That'd be one.
They don't see things clearly?
They don't see things clearly. They weren't clear with things in their previous life, and so in this life they're given confusion. Things aren't clear to them now because they weren't clear before. One way it would come out.
Or could they be good at deception?
Same
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
And being deceived.
Yes.
So mine is that, but I don't think that I'm not clear.
No. What do you have as in Maya?
Lagna?
The Lagna degree itself.
Yeah. I'm very clear.
But I think you'd see more the Agni.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
I think I definitely would take your Shashyamsha back to Agni, which to me would, just knowing you, would seem more correct. So, and the next one, and definitely to Agni, not to the next one. The next one is Purashaka, which means dirty. So the person was either, it can often show the person defiled something. And in our modern reality, that's somebody who's polluting the environment or things of that nature. And so they are polluted in this life or living in a polluted place or things of that nature. The one after that is Apam Pati. Apam means water and Pati is Lord. So the Lord of the waters is Varuna. And Varuna not only is the Lord of the waters, but it's the cosmic waters, the Lord of the Milky Way. So he's the Lord of secrets. It's Shashtiyamsha that's considered to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of mystical understanding. Person who understands a lot of the secrets of the universe. That's Varuna. Varuna, does anybody know who Varuna incarnated as? Anybody remember? Anybody there when I was talking about that? The conference? Okay. Varuna? Where was Lakshmi born from?
Lotus.
Eggshell?
Garuda was born from an eggshell.
I was thinking clamshell.
Yeah.
Aphrodite.
Okay. Similar. Where does the clam come out of?
The ocean.
Yeah.
Semen.
When the ocean of milk was being churned, Lakshmi was one of, that's where Lakshmi was born. The ocean of milk is the Milky Way.
Varuna is the Milky Way?
Yeah. He sails, he's the Lord of the Milky Way, the Lord of the waters, the universal cosmic waters. So Lakshmi was born of this cosmic ocean, the Milky Way, that the ocean of milk. All these stories are pure astrological reference. As we saw, all the rishis are in the sky. All the deities and stars and everything, all the mythology is of them. Lakshmi was born from that. So when Lakshmi incarnated as Sita, who was her father? Janaka Rishi. So Varuna is Varuna incarnated as Janaka Rishi. That's why Janaka is considered the wisest, He's a human rishi, a Raja Rishi. He was a king. And he was a king who'd go out and plow his own fields. Instead of sitting in the palaces, he was considered one of the wisest kings. Similar to Solomon in the Western traditions. And this is Varuna. Just the simple knowledge, not just arcane, strange stuff, but the mystical understanding of the universe, of how it is. Varuna. Next one is Maruta. Do we got somebody in Maruta here?
I am.
What do you got? Lagna?
Lagna.
Lagna. Maruta is the wind. And in general, the wind is very skinny. So not only do you have Saturn and Lagna, but you also have Maruta, Lagna, Shashtiyamsha.
Right.
Which is, again, it's wind. So you have the Lord of Air and here the wind god. It can be, it's considered a more benefic Shashtiyamsha. The Maruts also have to do with strength and power. The moving of things, the making things happen. But they also can have a slight destructive energy as well. We should read up on them.
Maruts.
Marut, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I say Marut.
In the singular is Marutavan.
Marutavan?
Yeah, the Lord Marut. Yeah. But there's many Maruts, so many different types of winds.
But sometimes you need that destructive energy to tear things down.
It's like the wind. The wind destroys things sometimes. But the wind also gives us a fresh breeze of air.
And it also cleans things up, after it's windy, the old branches get knocked down.
Exactly. But the branches get knocked down. And it's a good thing, but it's also a destructive thing. This is Marut. Next one is Kala, which Kala means time, it also means death. So it's a pretty heavy Shashtiyamsha. You're starting to get the gist of how these are working. Can somebody who was associated with a lot of death in their last life, had a lot of dying in their last life, people dying around them, people that are sick, when they say, okay, yeah, well, it'll all be online. So.
Okay.
And it's Vyasa, SJC.org now.
Is it changed now?
I bought the domain name, so it's just the name. VyasaSJC.org.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
So someone who experienced a lot of loss.
The thing about
Death.
Kala, a lot of loss, a lot of death. Kala, in general, in Sanskrit, a lot of times, besides saying like death is, the person dies, they say the time has come. Their time has come.
Right.
So Kal, in that way, their time has come. So it has a lot to do with death, dying, decay. Can have to do with disease. The next one is Sarpa, snake. Deceiving, deceit, changeability.
I have that. K2 is my ninth lord.
Yeah.
I don't think
K2 is no, that's your Dharma.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
Dharma is to...
No, it is a more... do you have any malefics associated with the ninth house? Okay. Now, if you had malefics associated with the ninth house, and you had that Sarpa Shashtyamsha, then surely you would be there to poison the teacher. And then cause problems. Yeah. But since there's no malefics there, and so it's a more benefic stationed house. Was there anything there at all, or no? What's the Lord? Mars. And so it's showing there'll be a lot of changes, a lot of shifts, things of that nature.
Can't the snake also represent, there's a divine knowledge as well?
It could also represent the divine knowledge, but if we look at the biblical divine knowledge of the snake, it's the snake tempted Eve. It's the misuse of the divine knowledge.
Then what about the cobra?
So you're just saying this is a malefic Shastri.
But it's more malefic. As I said, they can all be good and they all can be bad.
Okay.
The K2 is a snake, and it is moksha. So,
Yeah.
So the snake is
But it's more the snake of Kundalini.
right.
So it's the snake that liberates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, you can't apply the same thing to this one?
We can try to.
The actual word is ahi. Let's see what the... Because the Nagas are also called the wisdom holders. Ahi means a snake, serpent of the sky, a traveler.
And Vishnu lays on his snake.
Vishnu lays on a snake. Ahi, when Ketu is causing bandhana, it's called ahi bandhana.
K2 calls him
Bandhana? Bandhana means entrapment.
right.
It's ahi bandhana. Trapped by snakes. But you have two lords.
Yeah.
So what's Mars in?
It's in Capricorn.
No, it's
Oh,
Shashtyamsha.
Oh, the Shashtyamsha. I don't think that's any better. It's Kulanasa.
Kulanasa. No, not too bad. Luckily there's no malefics in your ninth house.
Destruction of strife, this book says.
We'll get to it. So Sarpa. Next one, Amrita. Amrita is nectar. Chaitanya had this one. And Guruji's like, of course, see, the Ayanamsha is correct.
I have a moon in it.
Your moon in it? Good. So, I don't think I need to go too into that one. The person is...
Can I lead out a little bit
Yeah.
more?
Okay. Amrita is nectar. The person is nourishing.
Okay.
They were either well taken care of in their last life or somebody well took care of them, and so in this life they're making sure things are being taken care of. They're giving. It's a very healing Shashtyamsha. Amrita literally means means not, and Mrita means death. So it's that which is rejuvenating, that which is healing and uplifting.
I have it in my second house, concerned about people having enough to eat,
Uh-huh.
having a
The moon and Amrita in the second.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it's like something I think
Uh-huh.
all the time when
We should see how close your K2 is on the line of changing Shashti Amshas. What do we have? K2 is 753 and Mars is 957. So they're both pretty close. So if the Ayan Amsha is off just a little bit, we have, is it in an odd or even sign? K2 first.
K2 is an even sign.
In an even sign. So meaning it would go backwards to Kal if it changed. And Mars is in which?
Even.
Even. They're both in even. So they'd both go back to Kala if it changed. A few seconds. Because we do have the Ayan Amsha correction there. And you're talking about, we got, what is it? It's Mars at 9:57. So 3 minutes and it's changing. 3 minutes of arc. You know what I mean? So our Ayan Amshas. It's where it can play.
Yeah.
Unless you do a few hundred of these charts and then you find out the exact right Ayan Amsha. A lot of research, huh?
That's a lot.
Yeah. But it's research that would be very beneficial, wouldn't it? I mean, can you see if we had a...
Great.
Yeah, to add one more Ayan Amsha to the list.
to add one more Ayan Amsha. But also just to have the list of the people and the examples of the Sarpa Shashtiamsha, the examples of the Kala Shashtiamsha.
If the K2 changed,
Both are on the line.
yeah, K2 changed to over 8, it would become Amrita.
The thing is, it's an even sign,
It's an even sign.
so it's going...
No, it's an odd sign.
it's an odd sign.
Yeah, odd.
I asked, you said even.
No, I said that the Mars is even. No, you said
I heard.
Yeah, you said even. Because the even are moving backwards and the odd are moving forward.
Right, I knew that. I'm sorry.
So if it's odd, it would move forward into the Amrita, which sounds more correct
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
I'd like to think that.
Which, as with the Ayan Amsha, it's very close. And in Sri Jyoti Star, you can add in your own Ayan Amsha. So you can move it 1 second, 2 seconds.
I like that. Make a perfect chart.
You're dealing with
really like that.
thousands of years,
The thing is, the Ayan Amsha, even though a lot of people are trying to calculate it as this is the Ayan Amsha, the Ayan Amsha is different at different times.
Yeah. So it could very well.
It could very well. Very much. The Earth, its exact precession is not an even thing. So
Okay, so you could say something.
it could easily say it's Amrita. I'm being honest. Get in the Sri Jyoti Star and see. You might, the smallest amount of change could throw it into Amrita, and then you can see, and we can all play with it a little bit and see Kathy's Ayan Amsha. Why not? Our next one's Indu. No, but just... I mean, there's people using some pretty strange Ayan Amshas.
I pulled all the Ayan Amshas and the Jayora,
Yeah.
and just see
Yeah.
who I would be.
The thing is, Guruji says it's not 100%. He says we're close with Lahiri.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to, an example like Kathy, somebody who Sarpa doesn't really fit for her ninth lord.
Right.
And it's so close to changing. That's a very good example for us to work with, to see. How many seconds does that Ayan Amsha need to change to get that Amrita? That's a straight factual example.
And it's a matter of seconds.
It's a matter of seconds. And we have a few of these cases, and we see how many seconds is it taking, and are they lining up? So it's very important. It's very important to do and see and have that number.
So we're looking at a nurturing, nourishing guru in the past life.
This is more the person's dharma. For dharma bala, the strength of a person's dharma, we're looking at the Shashtiyamsha Lord and the placement, Rashi placement of the ninth Lord in the Shashtiyamsha. Is it exalted? Is it in Mula Dracona, own sign? And then after that, if it's not in one of them, is it in a benefic sign or is it in a malefic sign? And that's going to tell us the dharma bala, the strength of a person's dharma.
Yeah, that makes sense, because one of the things I like to do is like donate to orphanages, take care of children, like Babaji's orphanage, collect clothes for children, and donate food, and so and really, and it makes more sense of a moon type of thing.
Well, Amrita is showing us the nectar, and if we look, that was K2 we're looking at going into Amrita. Either one, which one goes? K2. And so K2 is in Capricorn.
No, K2 is in Libra.
I'm talking in the D60.
Oh, in D60. Okay.
Yeah. And Mars is conjunct the moon in Leo. We also factor that in when we're looking at the Dharma. Relatively.
So the
Dharma
deity,
bala.
for the strength of the Dharma, look to see if it's in benefic or malefic.
The deity, we see how we're using it with the... we're using the example of 2 points. We're using the Lagna degree to see the person, how the person is on a level of how they're interacting with their intelligence with the world. And then we're also looking at the ninth house, the Dharma, that the person does. And with the Dharma, we also have to take into account the deity as well as the planetary, the Rashi placement, looking at exalted, debilitated, own sign, malefic, benefic reality.
Where did K2 go
In your Shashtiyamsha, without using the without the change, it's in Capricorn. Which, if we did move it a few seconds, if the Ayanamsha was slightly different and it moved forward, it'd move into Aquarius with Jupiter and Venus. It'd be interesting to see you work with your Sri Jyoti star. This doesn't let you pick your Ayanamsha, does it? Jehor?
Yeah, it does.
It does?
It says calculation options, and then
Okay.
there's like
Well,
about 6 of them.
You got something to play with then. Okay. Next.
We just finished.
Amrita, and now we're on number 18, Indu. Indu means moon.
Moon?
Mm-hmm. Just another, it's a name of the moon. Chandra. And so what do you think about that one? Friendly person? Friendly, loving, caring. In this way. Person was very, took care of a lot of things in their last life, and they're being taken care of, and they're nurturing again. And next one is called Mridu. Mridu means moderate. Means soft. It's a person who is not into extremes. Very just easy to deal with. Not Republican or Democrat. Not conservative or, what's the opposite? Liberal. They're just moderate. Next one is Kamala.
Soft.
Soft, tender. Real gentle person. Any Kamalas in here? No. Not with Saturn conjunct my A5.
That's me.
That's you and the other half of them. Yeah.
Well, listen, our Saturn aspect is
No, it was somebody who has new moon conjunct Saturn and Rahu with the A9,
oh my God.
and the Lord of the A9 in the 8th house wants me to be their teacher. I'm like, if I accept this person, oh, what karma I'm accepting. But
Jyotish teacher?
yeah. In yoga, I just teach. There's no
Right.
teacher-student real, yeah. Next one, Haramba. Who do we have Haramba? Somebody was Haramba in here. Huh?
Oh, I didn't.
Haramba. That's your Lugna, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's Ganesh. It's a form of Ganesh. It's a very bright form of Ganesh. Yeah. I think even in here there's a Haramba Ganesh mantra. We should remind me next class. We'll dig up. We'll do Ganesh mantras, and we'll dig up the Haramba Ganesh mantra for you. And Ganesh, we can understand. Removing obstacles, working to help other people, help other people's problems. Things of that nature.
You were saying before that you look at your name to see if the Shastri.
That's the Nadyamsha.
Oh, no.
Nadyamsha. Nadyamsha Lagna. Yeah. Which has 150 deities.
Oh my God.
That's a 2-day class.
It'd be easy to quickly find out each of our names. But we got to get our Shashtyamshas right first. Next one is Brahma. Brahma, creative. Somebody who's making things, working. It's a very Rajasic energy. Making things happen.
That's true, isn't
That's me.
it?
Yeah, you make a lot of things happen, huh?
I don't know. I don't know if that's me or not. I do. I tend to I catalyze
What do you have
things.
in Brahma?
Lord.
Lugna Lord.
Jupiter.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Well, people have always said, yeah, Gary, you should just accept that you're just a catalyst.
They said that to you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but a catalyst, isn't that different than, actually being the maker of something happen?
the catalyst is what actually starts the reaction.
Yeah.
So what did Brahma do? Brahma created a few people and he said, go reproduce. And then they created the whole world. Yeah. Yeah. The starter. The creation of it. The beginning of it. And our next one is Vishnu. The sustaining of it. And 24 is Maheshwara. And it's a beneficial removing destruction of it. Shiva is also the knowledge to understand, to transcend and move beyond.
Now, if someone had this one, that would mean what?
Which one?
Past life, Maheshwara.
Maheshwar, the person worked with knowledge. Person worked with learning. That could be one level. On another level, remember we interpret this within the chart. Person could have been, if it's an afflicted lugna, and this is the case, the person could have been a warrior on a battlefield. The Rudra side of Maheshwar. Shiva is the one who overcomes tamas. So it's someone who's very good at removing the lower tamasic energies from situations, helping people to get over things in that way. There's a billion different... We could spend the whole day just on one.
Could you give an example of the Vishnu, maintainer?
Maintainer, sustaining... I don't know. Somebody here want to try?
You can keep things going. It's like maybe you're not good at initiating something, but you're also
Good administrator?
Good administrator.
Someone that plays good rhythm guitar.
But in the case of a great musician that we saw Vishnu as the Lagna Lord, that's where it would be.
Oh.
It would be in that way.
Or a bass player, even.
Yeah, so it would, we got to interpret it within the chart of the person.
You could say the drummer in a band, he keeps the beat and keeps the whole band going. And
In the chart of a musician.
yeah, right, in case when you change.
They'd also be somebody who holds the band together.
Right.
The band, they're fighting about this, fighting about that. So-and-so wants to leave and join, they hold the band together. In that way. The opposite of kulagna.
Yeah, the person who keeps peace in the family.
Yeah, exactly. And our next one is Deva, which is repeating. And then Ardra. Ardra, we know the nakshatra Ardra. Means moist. Here it's a beneficial aspect of Ardra. Moist, let's see what wet, moist, damp, fresh, fresh, not dry, succulent, green as a plant, living, fresh, new, full of feeling. Not bad, huh? Yeah. It's considered one of the more benefic Shashtiamshas. And next one is Kali Nasa. Nasha means destruction, removal. And Kali? Time. The pains of time. Yeah. How do you feel about getting older every year?
You have this one there?
I have it, but I think,
It's the removal of that.
Kathy has it,
Oh.
doesn't she?
The removal of the fear of the pains of time?
The removal of, we could say the remover of suffering. Kali, as I said, how do you feel? Some people say strife, but I just say, how do you feel about getting older every year? It's strife to me. I don't know about you, but...
Well, I have it. I don't know. I don't feel.
Is this your mother one?
That's my lugna.
Your actual lugna.
Kalina.
And what was the kulagna?
Kulagna was the lugna lord.
What was the lugna lord?
I think this is my benign one.
And remember, this one can change very quickly then, too, so...
But I mean, I do, when I've done body work, I help people, I remove their pain.
Mm.
Not that I'm really doing it, but...
No, but that's
Yeah.
there we go.
Or at work, people come to me and be like, okay, can you work on me right now because something's wrong with that, and we do it, and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
But I mean, it must have a different meaning. Right?
No, that's part of the meaning. How it comes out, it varies, but that's...
So this is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that remove pain. That remove suffering.
So in a past life, This would have been someone who, say, could have worked as a...
You see, the thing is, we have people that have the Shashyamsha because they're continuing in a line, or people that are getting their karma repaid back to them. So it is either somebody who caused a lot of pain, and so now they have to heal a lot of people, or somebody who was a great healer and working and or a great obstacle remover, and in this life they're continuing that helping. And we see benefic, malefic to really decipher which of those two, which of it was. But for right now, that's enough for us to work with, I think. Right.
I mean, we're only at 28.7.
Oh my gosh. It's 4. Okay. Really? Aye. So the next one is Kshiksha, which it's Kshitiksha, which means ruler of the earth. It's connected to Mars. The Bhumikaraka. So it's protective energy. Protection of the land. It's the more beneficial aspects of Mars. It has a ruler, more of a royal quality to it. And the next one is Kamalakara, which literally means Narasimha once in Boston, it was a beautiful translation. He said, "The one who makes the lotuses bloom," which is the sun. And so one who really, so somebody with that is going to be somebody who comes in, helps things come to their full beauty, helps things really come to their fruition. Maybe you're the catalyst, but someone else will sustain it, and someone else will come along and really make it attain its full height. Yeah. And our next one is Gulika. What's the difference between Gulika and Mandi?
They both relate to Saturn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Difference between what and what?
Gulika and Mandi.
I thought
I
that
think Monda's
Gulika,
related
right?
to K2, isn't it?
Huh?
Monda's related to K2? Mars.
They're both children of Saturn.
I don't know, what I was looking at in here is that Gulika rises at that last part of
Yeah.
the day.
That's with calculation.
That's
Interpretation, though.
Oh, interpretation. I read another article that said that Gulika is evil that you do to others, and Mandi is... Oh, it's the other way around? Gulika is evil that's done to you, and Mandi is evil that you do to others?
Yeah. Gulika is the poison you drink,
Oh,
and Mandi is the poison that you give.
okay.
So it's the suffering, the poison that you take. And who's the poison? Who drinks the poison?
Shiva.
Shiva. So Gulika is a person who takes on suffering onto themselves. Somebody with the Shashyamsha of Gulika. And you'll see sometimes spiritual people having this. I wonder if Amaji has anything with Gulika. All the suffering she takes onto herself, huh?
So Gulika. So a person with Gulika Amsha would be somebody who kind of bit the bullet for other people?
Yeah.
The sacrifice.
Oh, Amaji has Kamala.
That's
Her lugna's in Kamala.
That's the soft one.
Soft and tender.
It fits.
Venus is in her Rumba,
Um,
the lugnash, removing obstacles. And her Mars is in Gulika.
Wow.
So you see something, I was like, Amaji has to have something. Right?
Mars is what, ninth lord?
Mars is, I just looked to see what was in Gulika. Mars is second and seventh lord. Her ninth lord is Mercury in Agni. The fire of that spirituality. See how I even said, he's here. He's not going to be in one of these more malefic Shashtiamshas. Somebody would spend all day every other Sunday doing Jyotishes. There's just, you got to have some benefic Shashtiamshas happening. Okay. Oh, jeez. Which one are we on now? Mrityu. Mrityu, as Gulika is the son of Saturn, Mrityu is the son of Mars. It literally means death. Next one is Kala, which is a repeat from before. Next one is Davagni. Davagni. And it means forest fire.
Wait a minute. When you say next one is Kala, that's not in my book.
30. Yeah, look at the chart.
Oh.
As I said, he leaves whenever it doubles. He doesn't put it in that list.
Okay, so
there.
there's not the same.
No, he puts it. Yeah, that chart. That's why we're going by that chart
Okay, my
instead.
numbers are almost different.
Yeah, the number is there. I'm not happy with.
So, what are we? Okay, I got it.
On the page 134, number 33, Davagni means forest fire. And now some people have considered this have considered it a spiritual thing. The story of a forest fire that I know of from the Puranas is when I think it was Indra wanted to plant a forest. And Indra went to Jupiter and said, "Can you give me a good Muhurta to plant this forest?" And so Jupiter gave him a good Muhurta, and he went and he planted the forest, and the forest burned down. And then he went back to Brihaspati and he was like, "What's going on?" And it's a story about Venus more than anything, because Venus was just like, "Oh, well, you should have checked a little closer with your Muhurtas," and I can't remember the divisions. There's a real fine detail of divisions, like every 24 minutes or different sections of time that are considered that were taught by Brigu. And so it's more detailed. So Venus was more detailed than Jupiter about the Muhurta. So that's the story. But so to me, this is it's not considered a benefic Shashtiamsha. And so to me it's wrong timing. Forest fire, things getting out of hand. Yeah, loss of control.
Clears the ground for new growth.
Yeah.
Think about what
Some of my best relationships are the worst feeling ones.
Forest fire.
The worst feeling ones?
Yeah. And and the result after was, wow, that really woke me up. Or, boy, that really showed me stuff that I wasn't unconscious of. But while I was having the relationship, it was really uncomfortable.
But the forest fire, I like that. It does clear the ground quickly for a new something to start.
Also, a lot of seeds are activated by the
Mhm.
flame. They
Mhm.
won't sprout unless there's a fire.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Devagni. Our next one is Gora, which is a repeat from before. It means awful.
That's 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 35 is Yama. Is Yama a repeat here? Or is this the first time that Yama comes?
Yama might be.
Yama's the Lord of Death, which means transformation.
Mhm.
So these are people who make change happen. Who get rid of your old junk.
Mm.
Good for psychologists who need to break people through barriers and things of that nature. And then we have Kantaka. Kantaka means thorn. Anybody know what Kantaka Shani is?
Yes, Lord of Saturn.
Which is what?
And Kendra to your
Generally 10th house.
10th house.
Generally, yeah.
That's your career.
10th from the weather, 10th from the moon.
Both.
Hmm.
Most people go from the moon, but it'll be from the moon, it'll be from the Lagna, and from the Aruda
I
Lagna.
was told I have that, and I have Saturn 4th in there.
It's also because it's Kendra, but the 10th is the primary thorn. Why the 10th? Why the 10th is the primary thorn? Where do you get a thorn?
Oh, your foot.
Yeah,
Your finger.
in your foot. So, in the 10th, he gives a third house aspect to the 12th. So it's the thorn in your foot.
Oh, yeah, the foot.
Thorn in your foot.
Yeah.
So it causes lameness? So it
No,
has
it's
to-
just problems in career and your
So I got
advancement in
that.
life.
That's good.
In transit, it's a transit thing too. But yeah, so thorn. So that's just giving us a little bit about Kantak Shashtyamsha. The next one is called Sudha. And Sudha means nectar, means the light of the moon. Sudha, number 37.
Light of the moon.
Light of the moon, nectar.
It's a good one, I take it.
Yeah. Has to do with beauty, happiness, joy, cool, nourishing. So yeah, none of them are good or bad, but some of them are definitely a little bit more benefic than others.
So, back to the Kantaka, that's basically...
It's like the opposite of Kantaka.
okay.
When you take out that thorn and you put some salve on it. Light of the moon. Then Amrita Shashtyamsha, which we've done Amrita. And then we have Purna Chandra, full moon. There's somebody with full moon in here, right?
I have it as a Lagna Lord
Your Lagna Lord, full moon.
and my Mercury.
And your Mercury, nice. So it's about completeness, finishing things.
Finishing up what I didn't finish last night.
Exactly. Exactly. Next one is Vishadugna. Vishadugda, which means destroyed by venom, which is the one I had mentioned before. It's generally somebody who's burning with the resentment. They have some pain or poison and some emotional issue that just they're burning inside because of it. And Kulanasha. So you had the previous one or this one?
I have Kulanasha.
You have
and
Kulanasha.
Kulagna.
You have both.
Yeah.
Oh my
Kulanasha, forget.
gosh.
It's awful.
Do we
Ku-
get Kulanasha?
Kulagna is the family
The
destroyer.
family destroyer.
And what about Kul-
And Kulanasha means the family decayer.
I feel really good.
So I've seen two different interpretations of this. One is somebody who destroys the family values. Oh, marriage, don't need marriage. Kids, oh,
There we go.
just the traditional family values. Who,
Is that Kulanasha?
yeah, that's one interpretation.
Oh.
Another interpretation has been to take the second kula as the larger kula, meaning like right here, this is our Jyotish kula, our Jyotish family right here. And so somebody who destroys the larger family.
Oh, good.
Those are the two different interpretations, which, from today, I think it's probably the first. That's now my experience. Thanks, Gail.
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah.
Well, you clarified that one for us, I mean, some people said it's the bigger family. I mean, have you ever destroyed any communities?
No.
Just the family values, right? Huh? But just the family values, right?
I don't
Yes.
have traditional family values. I'm all like no kids, communal living if possible, or very non-traditional.
So we have a
Blended
case
family.
example of, which way this is going to be best to interpret. Yeah. Which one now? We have Vamsha Kshaya. Means not growing. Kshaya means wasting away. You'd almost say stale, not wanting to change. And then we got Utpata. Utpata means like a bad omen. Bad things are going to happen. You can see that bad things are going to be coming in the future. So if you meet any astrologers like with this, you know that if they read your chart, it means that you have some bad times coming, huh?
But how would we interpret this as past life? Just
You tell me. Take a try.
maybe in a past life you were like the bad omen for the destruction of the town or something like that, or the harbinger of bad things, or you brought the disease to the town.
Sounds good to me. In this way, it's yeah, good.
You don't have that one, do you?
No.
It could be
It's,
somebody
you guys are
powerful.
good. You guys, I'm very happy with. I watch some of these other students. They sit there and they say the rules, and it's like, no, you just don't say that rule. Like they say this and they say that. Like, but the two things are conjunct. You gotta kind of mold them together. And in this way, we took this, and that was a beautiful interpretation. It really hit the spot. And so with the mantras, in the same way, I'm trying to teach you how to feel them. There's the science, and then there's molding it to the situation. And you guys are doing great. Really, you're really doing good getting the feeling of it more than just these straight rules. Because there's a lot of rules, but how do we apply them? Next.
Kala again?
Kala again. Phew. Tough one, huh?
This is like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
It's like the roulette table. Where's it going to land? Black or red?
Then we have Somya. Do I have Somya? Who has Somya? Somebody
I
here.
do.
Where you have Somya?
Is Ninth Lord.
Ninth Lord. Wow.
That's a nice one.
That's beautiful. means it's a name of Mercury. It means friendly, nice, pleasant, happy, joyful. It's very friendly energy. And this is your Dharma.
Yeah, I'm very friendly.
Very friendly.
Strangers.
Strangers.
So it's very good, strong Dharma there. With bringing, and we could also look at it as your Dharma also having relation with, because when one person's Dharma conflicts with another person's Dharma. Actually, more when one person's dogma conflicts with another person's dogma. There gets to be issues. And so this is having this as the Dharma, it's really creating friendship and an ability of different Dharmas to work together.
Well, what's funny is, all my life I've been able to kind of move about in the various camps and not necessarily be neutral or take sides, but it's like, hey, I could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't feel any reason to not be these people or that people or something.
Well, I'd really like to see some fundamentalists, Ninth Lords, to see what Shashtri these Ninth Lords are falling in, that are making these really fundamentalist religious people. Wouldn't it be quite interesting? Especially people that talk a lot of poison on other religions. Like if their dharma is to be saying bad things about other people and saying I wonder what their Shashtri Ninth Lord would be. So next one, Kamala, which we already did. 47 is Shitala. Shitala means cold.
Isn't that also pranayama?
Shitali is a cooling pranayama, where you roll your tongue and you breathe in the cold air. You cool the body down. It's one particularly for rasa, the skin, to purify to cool the skin down, so that the skin is to get rid of the toxins and heat in the rasa and purify the skin, pranayama wise. But cold, it means cold, and Shitali is a goddess who is connected to Saturn Rahu conjunct. Cold, she's connected with bringing measles and colds and just disease due to cold and disease caused by cold. So it's not the most, it's a little harsher of a Shashtri there.
So a person who had Lagna and the Shamsa could be like a cold, icy individual.
Yeah. They'll be a little bit, they won't be very emotional. Not like you. They're not going to be as friendly dealing with. They're going to be a little bit more cut and dry.
Like Kandi.
Cold,
Condoleezza Rice.
I don't know. It's
The Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice.
okay. She's a very cold person, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
She comes across that way.
Yeah.
And just causing destruction in the world and very...
Cold about it too. Yeah.
She's like the wicked witch.
That's probably Ati Shatali. We'll get to that one. This is cold. There's one called extra cold.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So if you were doing like a Maharta for a frozen food company, then what their lugnet would be in Shitala.
If you had the choice, sure.
Yeah, right.
Would work for that.
Yeah.
Next one is Karla Drumstra. Here it's translated as frightful teeth.
This is 48?
48.
Frightful teeth?
Frightful teeth. Teeth, yeah. Has this vampire kind of connection.
Ooh.
Fangs. Bite you, suck your blood kind of vibe. We could also say somebody who gets things harshly.
You mean
Someone who gets
it takes
things.
some harsh
Action.
lesson or action
Yeah.
for them to wake up or get it?
Yeah, well, for them, yeah, you could, that'd be the nice way.
They do
Takes a
teach
harsh,
harshly.
exactly.
Too hard
What?
lessons.
Do teach harshly.
Both, either or. One way to interpret it. Be nice if we did some research and got examples for all of them, huh? Because we can see the ones that we have here and how much they help us understand it that much deeper. 49. Chandra Mukha means face like a moon.
Is that your
I
Can you
think.
put that?
49?
Yeah, my Mercury, my Mercury's there. Chandramukhi. And so sometimes, say again?
Yeah, your Mercury is very good.
Yeah. As with Mukhi, with the eye on the end, it's a feminine. It means like, it's a woman with a face like a moon. And the connotation is a woman who's very charming and seductive. Like you just fall in love from the seduction. There's just a...
Gail, do you have that?
No.
That's a phone call. It's Mercury.
It's my raw hair.
It's communication. No, this is Mercury. A phone call represents Mercury when we're doing Jyotish.
Maybe
And speaking of Mercury,
And this is my Mercury, my Lagna Lord. And so
yes.
it shows a very...
So this is a confirmation it's the right...
Yeah, well, that's not going to change too much.
You have a light.
Light in the face and
seductive.
charming.
No, it is
Yeah.
because it draws you in. I'm
Yeah.
not saying sexually. I just mean it
Yeah,
is.
and charm. There's charmingness. Yeah, yeah. When people get angry at me, I just need to talk to them a little bit.
Yeah, here's the smile. Look, he's got this like
Mercury smile.
like it couldn't have been me.
You must have misunderstood.
Next one is Pravina, which you have,
I
right, Mary?
have two of that. I have
Yeah, you got a double Pravina.
Brahma
That's...
Lord and Ketu.
Pravina means it's somebody who's an expert. It means expertise. With hands, it's dexterity. It's somebody who, that planet, it shows that the person perfected. They perfected a skill in a past life. So a planet in Pravina shows that the person perfected some kind of skill with that. Lagna Lord, the person was an expert in a certain area in their last life. So it's your ninth Lord as well.
No, it's my Lagna.
Your Lagna Lord
and
and
Ketu, which is in the Lagna.
Ketu. Ketu's, who's your ninth Lord though?
The ninth Lord is the
Is-
moon and the moon,
The ninth Lord is the moon.
which
Okay.
is celestial singer. Yaksha.
Okay. No, not celestial singer. Remember, nature spirit.
spirits.
Oh, nature singer.
Nature spirit. Yeah. Celestial singer
Your
is
Lagna Lord and Ketu, I think.
Oh, Pravina,
celestial singer. There's a different word for it.
yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So not a good translation. Yeah. Yeah. Nature spirit. Elves.
Nature
Like.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It's. But expert, somebody who perfected something in another life, who's very expertise about what they do. So it's going to show that when you do things, you really try and it makes you more of a perfectionist.
I'm a very much perfectionist.
Yeah, and that's the Pravina there.
Could it also be someone like a Mozart? You can explain why he's so good at music. You just came out with
Gee, I
that.
wonder if we have his chart. Could be. We can see.
What is the planet for music? Is it Venus?
Primarily Sun.
Oh, okay.
Venus is more listening to music and dancing. Mozart, what was his first name?
And it is
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang.
So Mozart was his last name, so it'll probably be under M. We'll see if they got us anything in the database here. chance of it being Shashtiyamsha correct. Is,
Yeah.
but if it's kind of close, then Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So they have him as the Sagittarius Lugna, and they have the sun in the 6th house. It's terrible. Let's move his... See, I'm about to change his time. How much am I about to change his time?
But his help was 4 though, 7 and 6.
6 of the Navamsha.
Oh.
Okay, that can't be correct.
Yeah.
But it's 8 o'clock they have here.
Could be in the part of the 5th.
So, 51 seconds earlier, so I'm only going to move it...
So it's Sagittarius in the D9?
no, Sagittarius
Okay.
gives us 8:12 instead of 8 o'clock. And... yeah, I mean, we just changed it 15 minutes, so we'd have to really... let's look at this Dashamsha really fast. Sun, Jupiter, Moon in the 6th house. Did he work for other people, or was he mostly a solo musician, relatively?
He always had patronage.
Yeah, patronage, yeah.
So in a sense, yes, he worked for others.
Really, yeah.
But he was always in debt.
He was partying.
And
Yeah.
When they did that musical,
Right,
with
the
the
long-
horrible guy that
Yeah.
was always
Salieri.
Yeah.
Okay. One to play with later, but who knows?
too much work.
Yeah, it'll take
We
some
need
time.
somebody alive, I guess.
We can look just to see if his ninth lord is Sun in Kala.
Maybe check Robin Williams' chart. Robin Williams. Yeah.
Is he,
It's just his wit. I mean, he's just so quick, and it's like clever.
you think
One
he's,
thing after another.
clever.
Yeah.
Whoopin Williams.
But
We got Bill Williams, Calvin Williams, Cindy Williams, David, 1897 Williams, Denise, Diane, Dr. Alan Wynn, Esther, Grace, Hank, J. Ross Williams, Jerry J. Williams.
Robin
Robin Williams. Wow, what a huge database.
Is that the database that Jayora had?
I don't know what Jay Hora has. Visti gave me this, so.
no, Jay Bird doesn't have very much.
Yeah, they just got guru.
Spiritual people.
Narsing.
Robin Williams has his son. Robin Williams has his son in Pravina
Oh my God. What's it?
in the 10th house.
That's why he's so funny.
Yeah.
So he's an expert in front of people, and yeah.
I have that also.
And his lugna, from this, his lugna's in Purna Chandra. So
He has a face kind of like a moon.
well, that's not his face. That's going to be his
Oh yeah, his. Right.
personality
The sun in the 10th
in
and
Pravina. Yeah.
it's Apakarka. But Apakarka, is that something we should look at?
Yes, but not for yeah. Atmakarka will show results everywhere, but we're looking at past life. So, what was your Atma in your past life? You know, the your Atmakarka now is representative of what your Karakamsha probably was in your past life. Okay, so.
You Upakaraka in the Rasi chart now? Or
Your next life,
uh-huh.
what's your Karakamsha?
Is Pisces.
So if you don't clean up your act this life, then next life your Atmakarka is good chance it'll be Jupiter
Okay.
in that way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good, good.
But
Good
not too
stuff.
bad.
It doesn't sound so bad.
I don't know.
It's not moksha. What do we got? Are we on 51?
51 comma.
Kala again?
This one's Kalagni
Yeah.
or Kalapavaka. It's the Kalagni is the fire at the end of the world that burns the world. It's connected with Rudra. It's connected to removing old things that you don't want, removing attachments, burning old desires,
Okay, wait.
burning tamas.
So in the chart, 51 is KAA and it says Kala.
It's wrong. That's not, I stopped following that. 'cause
It's
wrong.
51. It's Kalagni. Kal. It's K-A-L. K long A-L. Long A. G. And the G and the N are conjunct with an I. Kalagni.
So it's not Kala, Kavaka?
That's the translator. It's the same. Similar.
Oh, okay, so it's the same. So I'm trying to correlate them. Okay.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a good one, actually.
It's a more malefic one. Remember, Guruji, people say, even Parashar, if we go back to page 131, we look at the second paragraph. In odd signs, Gora, Rakshasa, etc., and in even signs, Chandra, Leka, Brahmana, etc., in reverse order are the presiding deities by auspicious Shashtiyamshas. The signs occupied by auspicious Shashtiyamshas are givers of beneficial and auspicious effects, and those occupied by inauspicious ones are bringers of destruction. So it's saying that benefic and malefic, that the Shashtiyamshas are benefic and malefic. Now, different people disagree about which ones are the benefic ones and which ones are the malefic ones.
That was my next question.
Yeah. He lists some here. Sharma gives a list. But that's Sharma's opinion. Different people do different things. Guruji says he doesn't believe that it's the deities that are benefic or malefic. He uses the signs that they're placed in, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, to see benefic or malefic. And the lords to see what the story is behind the planet. So that's how Guruji uses it. But that's an interpretation.
Okay, so this is considered more malefic Shastra.
Yeah, most people consider this a malefic.
So it's because it has the destructive energy.
The destructive energy. I think Narasimha considers this one as removing tamas. So I don't know if he considered that benefic or malefic, but
Well, it's not always pleasant. It's like,
it does have a good result.
yeah.
Danda Yudha is the next one.
So he looks at the sign in D60 for where the planet is placed?
Remember, there's 4 ways to read it.
Oh, right.
The Lord is the first way. Looking at the deity.
Oh, right.
It's our first. I don't think we're going to have time to do the other ways.
Oh, okay.
Can you just list them?
Huh?
Can you just list them?
Yeah, sure.
And figure it out?
So our next one is
What does Danda Yudha mean?
Danda Yuddha. A Danda Yuddhi is when people practice fighting with sticks, like staff, kind of kung judo kind of stuff. Yeah, that's Danda Yuddhi. Fighting with sticks, staffs, huh?
Kendo.
Kendo.
Kendo night.
Yeah.
How do you throw each other where you
Okay.
So I have this as the
Okay.
ninth co-lord.
Say again?
I have this as the ninth co-lord.
Okay. So that's what it means. Now, some people, even Sharma translates it here as someone, as an ascetic holding a stick. But Yudhi means war. Graha Yudhi is a planetary war. So most of the time how this is interpreted is it's an unfinished fight. There was some fight in the last life that has come into this life and it's not finished yet. There's some unfinished battle happening. What do you have in Danda Yudi? Yuda? Saturn.
And that's the ninth lord. And it's in the eighth house.
Ninth lord. So there's some type of dharma that you're fighting with that you haven't really cleared up with. Now remember, do you see how I'm changing it from Lagna verse to the ninth house? If it was her Lagna, she would have had some fight in the last life, and there'd be someone in this life that she'd be arguing with and needing to work things out. But it's her ninth lord. It's the dharma that she's working with. So she's struggling between two different types of dharma and fighting between those two. And it's not just a debate, it's a fight between the two.
You think that could be like an unfulfilled responsibility or duty indicated because it's Saturn?
Unfulfilled because it's Saturn. Because it's the ninth lord, so the ninth lord takes on a more benefic nature.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're going to look at the ninth lord, more the house sign placement. If it's exalted Saturn in the Shashti Amsha as the ninth lord, then there's no lacking of anything there. It's a great Vedic study done there. So it's not the planet. We're not going to look at it in that way. We're going to look more at the Shashti Amsha lord and the sign type placement.
That's right, so it's 8th and 9th lord.
Yeah. Okay. But do you see how I'm interpreting that? Yes.
Yeah.
So probably this fight that caused my rebirth, whatever this fight was happening, since it's in the 8th house.
Because it's in the... What's in the 8th house?
It's the 8th and 9th lord in the 8th house. Saturn.
8th and 9th lord in the 8th house.
So staff held by an ascetic. So
8th and 9th lord, so that means Aquarius is also... But if Saturn's in the 8th house, then that means Rahu's going to give more your 9th house results. So Rahu's going to be more important.
Okay.
And
so
what's...
then it's the 8th lord,
And Rahu is...
the 9th lord in the 2nd house.
Yeah, but what's Rahu's Shashti Amsha, I'm saying?
Rahu is...
Because Rahu's giving more than 9th house.
Yeah, Rahu was in Yaksha.
Yaksha, okay.
Forget what the option is, though.
Nature spirits.
Oh, yeah.
Nature spirit.
Tree spirits.
I'm a nature girl.
This is
You know what they call me? They call me granola girl.
That's cute.
Venus. When Venus is 12th from Karakamsha, the person, they say, worships yakshas. They just worship spirits and forest deities and magical deities and just little... Yeah. It's Parashara's other yaksha classification. We don't have that many left. 53, Nirmala. Mala means toxin. Problem, sin, dirt. You have 3 malas from the body: sweat, urine, and feces. So mala is just, waste, refuge. Nirmala means free from, no waste, sinless.
Mala is,
Mala is the waste.
and near means
No. Yeah.
no waste.
No.
Okay.
So it's sometimes they translate it as sinless.
So non-toxic.
Exactly. Non-toxic. No problems. No bad. The person is pure. There's a purity there.
So maybe you would see this with spiritual people.
Yeah. You see somebody with their lagna here and you know they're going to be truthful and they're not going to have many bad qualities. They're going to overcome their shadrapu. They're all these good things. Then we have 54, Somya repeats itself. 55 is Krura. We literally get the word in English cruel from the same root. So it means cruel, it's harsh. Person did some harsh things in their last life or had some harsh things done to them. So they have a real harsh way of handling things in this life. And then we have Ati Shitali. extra cold. Just like before, but extra. Sudha, again, it's the light of the moon. Payoti means ocean. And generally it's considered to be bountifulness, abundance, resourcefulness. So somebody that has this could be very resourceful, come up with a lot of ideas, always having plenty. Brahmana. This is not Brahmana, it's Brahmana. No H there. At the end, it's B-H-R-A-M-A-N-A. Brahmana means wandering. The person doesn't really have a goal. Go here, go there, what else? No real direction. Can even be confusion.
Last life maybe become a gypsy or something. Or is it more of a...
More either they stopped other people from fulfilling their goals, or they didn't have goals. Okay. And they, somebody who sat around wasting their time and not achieving what was meant to be achieved by them. And last one, Chandra Rekha. It means a crescent moon. And it's considered an auspicious nakshatra. So the crescent moon is the moon, it's just out of new, so it's growing. So it's, when I think of this Shashti Amsha, I think of I use the term green a lot. Somebody who's just started something, and they're totally new to it, they're green. Like green wood. They've just started. They're just learning. Their mind has not been stuck one way or stuck other ways. They're open to all the new possibilities and growing. So those are our Shashti Amshas.